Shane, good to see you. We have 5 quick tips for young investors. It's so hard to picture our lives 40 or 50 years into the future. So there are many reasons young adults put off saving for retirement. But what should be step number one after we're graduated and working?
Well, the biggest step that we always talked about is making sure you have at least a emergency fund in place, 3 to 6 to 12 months worth of money saved up. And a lot of times that can be the biggest first step to making sure you have something saved for yourself.
Yeah, you need that cushion for sure. And because this video is specifically for young investors, let's talk through the eighth wonder of the world, which is compound interest.
Right. Compound interest is talked about a lot, and it really is a powerful tool in a growing market to allow investors, young and old, to really create more wealth for themselves. And basically, the idea is this: you have money, you invest it, it starts to earn interest, it starts to grow. You take that growth and you reinvest it, and the money that you earned in interest starts to earn interest itself. And you can really start to create this exponential growth, and you can see that orange section on the chart there. That orange section is climbing at an ever increasing rate. And that's really the
Mhm.
power of compound interest right there.
Boy, that is interesting to look at, right? So now let's walk through your 5 quick tips. And the first one is something I think you tell almost every client, right? Track your budget.
Right. Track a budget. A budget is hard to do. Nobody wants to sit down and see where the money's going. Phone bill, car bill, groceries, gas, all this stuff. It's hard to look at, right? But it's really a critical part of seeing how much money you're spending every month, comparing that to your income, and then setting a figure that you can start to save for yourself every single month.
Okay. And the second tip here, Shane, set aside money for big expenses. What does that mean exactly?
So if you want to take a vacation, you're wanting to get married, you have the expense of buying a home coming up. You want to start planning for these things, putting money away in a place that can be safe, maybe grow a little bit, but then be there when you need it in the future.
hmm And the third tip, I know you're a big fan of this one. And boy, do I wish I knew about this when I was 20. Open a Roth account.
Right? So a Roth can be a pretty powerful thing, right? People when they're younger are going to be in a lower tax bracket, first of all. So the idea of the Roth is that the money you put in is not tax deductible. But when you're young, it's not as big of a deal because your tax bracket's not going to be as high as it will be later in life, hopefully. And you can start putting some money away tax free now in a low tax environment and really get yourself started in that tax free world. That's something we talk about so much is operate in the tax-free world. There's 2 vehicles that are tax-free, by the way. Operate in that tax-free world as opposed to that taxable world if you can make that happen.
Yeah, you will be thanking yourself when you're older for
Yes,
sure.
you will.
Next, contribute to a 401k. I think you suggest up to the max match.
Right, definitely up to the maximum match. So get the free money from your employer, right? It's hard to say no to that, but I wouldn't put a penny more into your 401k than what the maximum match amount is. Usually it's something like they match up to the first, you have to put in 5% to get 3% match, something like that. So get the most free money, get the most match you can from your employer, but don't put another penny in there because, the more you put in, basically, the more taxes you're setting yourself up for in the future.
Mhm.
And second of all, you can really usually find much greater investment choice, options, performance outside of the 401k world, with a private account somewhere else. So that's really a big reason.
Mhm. And then your last tip, focus on the long term.
Yep, it's a long-term game, right? You're young now, you want to invest for, 20, 30, 40 years from now. It's hard to see these things out there in the world. Oh, we're going to get 20, 30, 40, 50% this year. Why don't you come join us in this investment? But people sometimes fail to realize those things are extremely high risk many times, and they can really lead to a lot of exposure. So plan for the future, plan for long-term appreciation. Try to do your best to not worry about this overnight home run that you're trying to hit because a lot of
Mhm.
times those don't work out in the long run.
Long time horizon is the best thing. All right, Shane, if some young investor wants to talk through if they're properly allocated or anything that we've covered, what's the best way to reach you?
Best way to reach us here is by phone or online. Our phone number here at the office is 602-456-1928. 602-456-1928, or visit us online at winstonandcompanies.com.
All right, Shane, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.